Hey guys, welcome back to a brand new Ninjago video here on the channel. My name is TannerFishies. In today's video, we are continuing my series of Ninjago Dragons Rising Season 2 Part 2 episode reviews by taking a look at episode 14 of Season 2, entitled Inside the Maze. As per usual with these episode reviews, I will start by talking about the positive things about this episode, so the things that I enjoyed. Then we will get into some of the more negative aspects of the episode until finally at the very end of this video, I will give the episode a score out of 10 according to my own opinion. Also, this review will contain spoilers for the episode at hand. Keep that in mind as well. Spoilers are ahead. So, Inside the Maze. This episode is kind of a big deal for a lot of reasons, but let's start with some positives. I love the flashback at the beginning of this episode, featuring all of the ninja in their beautiful core outfits. I just love how these suits look overall. They are so elegant, so clean, and they look great in the Dragons Rising art style. We also get a little bit of Jay and Nia in this flashback. They are super cute together. Love that. But it's all too bittersweet as we flash back to Nia at the tournament, having very clearly seen Jay in the crowd, but she can no longer find him. Yeah, Nia definitely goes through it in this episode, and even later we see her praying to pictures of Kai and Jay, two people that she cares for deeply that are currently lost to her. Like I said, this is a very emotional episode for Nia. More on that here in a second, though. I also like a lot of other things about this episode, including the whole sequence between Cole and Geo. We also have some more stuff between Kai and Bonzel in Nether Space. It's creepy, very ominous. They find the Forbidden Five in some type of limbo state, and we also find out that Kai does have some type of connection to the outside world, because when he got sent through the portal to Nether Space, some of Ryu's scales were still attached to him, causing him to be able to communicate with Ryu from Nether Space. Again, more on that in later episodes. But I thought that was a pretty good setup, and I loved seeing all of the stuff with Nether Space. Really wish Season 2 Part 2 elaborated on that even more. Then we get to the start of the tournament. We see our first match in Zane versus Zur, Zur being the Devonian master of reflex, and it's a cool match. For a while. I wasn't a fan of how rigged it was, but I'm not going to count that against this episode because that's more of an issue with Season 2 Part 2 just in general. The narrative is not the strongest, but still Zane does lose this match. But the main meat of this episode, and finally let's talk about the elephant in the room here, all of the stuff with Jay versus Nia. Yeah, Lord Ras pulls a fast one and sends out Jay to battle Nia, much to the surprise of the ninja and the audience. And this battle, we kind of figured that it was coming. I mean, it was either going to be Jay versus Nia or Jay versus Cole. Jay versus Nia would have been more heartbreaking, and they decided to go with the more heartbreaking option here. This is not an easy battle to watch. Jay obviously does not remember Nia. Nia very clearly cares for Jay, is scared to fight him. She can't fight him. How can she fight Jay? Meanwhile, Jay is not holding back, especially when Jay pulls out a wolf mask and proceeds to shatter spin. Again, very devastating to watch, and I can only imagine what Nia is feeling in this sequence. Seeing these two characters that we know used to care for each other so much, now fighting, granted one of them is memory wiped, but still it's not an easy fight to watch, and it's very, again, devastating. If you are a fan of Jay and Nia, I can see how this would not be fun. But anyway, Nia is pretty much forced to beat Jay after a very lengthy battle. She uses Rising Dragon against Jay's Shatter Spin, and Nia wins, much to the dismay of Lord Ras, who basically just banishes Jay. And of course, it leads to that heartbreaking moment at the end where Jay says to Nia, "I will always hate you." Yeah, that hurt watching that. That definitely hurt. And that is probably the highlight of the episode for me, the Jay versus Nia stuff. At the same time, though, and getting into the more negative aspects of this episode, it does kind of come out of nowhere. All of a sudden, Jay is just here. How did he get here after the administration? The episode never bothers to explain. The episode does not explain how Lord Ras picked up Jay, how exactly he managed to train him in Shatterspin. None of that. And in that sense, I can see why the writers decided to do it like that, because it's just as much of a surprise to the audience as it is to the ninja. But in terms of a narrative, it does just kind of come out of nowhere and feel disjointed. Because where exactly did all of this come from? All of a sudden we're doing this when 2 seconds seconds ago, we weren't doing this. There was no setup, no build-up, and it was kind of frustrating and overwhelming because all of a sudden now Jay is here fighting Nia, but we just get nothing here. Also, there is a little subplot towards the beginning of this episode with Eren, Frack, Ryu, Wildfire, Roby. Kind of just goes on for way too long, sort of just reiterating what we already know about all of these characters. So again, just kind of felt redundant, really didn't think we needed all of that. But the main meat of this episode, again, was the Jay versus Nia stuff, and I liked the fight overall. I do have some issues with this episode though, and I've made those very clear as well, but this episode was more entertaining than not, so I will give this episode in terms of a score a 7 out of 10. Again, really wish things were slightly different with the Jay stuff, but it is what it is, I suppose. Hopefully we get those flashbacks in Season 3, because we definitely do not get them in Season 2. But with that being said, that'll pretty much wrap it up for my thoughts here. Thank you so much for tuning in. Leave all of your thoughts down below regarding this episode. What did you think? Did you like it? Did you not like it? Let me know down below, and thank you so much for tuning in. If you guys enjoyed this one, feel free to like and subscribe, do all that fun stuff, and I will talk to you guys again very, very soon. Peace.